Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America. And hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And if you need anything from me at any point, you can reach out to me. I'm at nancy@nancysniftynotes.com. Or my website has all of my class offerings and my retired products for sale here in Australia and all kinds of information. That's nancysniftynotes.com. And let's get into it today. So, hello Gladys and Paula. Thanks for joining me again this morning. Today I'm going to be using products out of two different things. First, this is the Thoughtful Journey Suite, and you've seen me use this before. I have the entire suite, but I will say I go to this paper, which is absolutely beautiful, for many, many different projects, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to be pulling in a piece of this 6x6 Designer Series paper, and I am going to use it with a new online exclusive bundle called Frosted Forest. And there is the stamp set. Here are the dies. It's got outline dies that coordinate with these three images, plus and birds to go with that bird. Plus it's got some solid texture dies that fill in these outline dies. And then also I really like this little stand of three trees on a little bit of earth. Anyway, that's really cool. And then the other really cool part is that it's got decorative masks, so stencils that we can use. And this set of three coordinates with this deciduous tree, and then this set of three coordinates with the two evergreens. And today I am going to be using the deciduous tree. Whoops, sorry about that. I hate when I bump the camera stand. So let me show you what I have planned out. I pulled out this piece of Designer Series paper from Thoughtful Journey, and I cut it down to be a layer on a card. And I kind of played with the deciduous tree to figure out where I wanted to put it in relation to the stuff that was already on the paper. So then I cut out the layer that I wanted. So there is that. And I am going to tape this down onto my glass mat. There are all kinds of things you can use to secure your paper. Post-it notes are probably one of the easiest things to do. And you can do either just these are just store brand Post-it notes, or there's that Post-it note correction tape, cover-up tape. You can use that. That's going to hold it pretty well there. The other thing I really like and I often use is Scotch tape, the 3M brand one with the light blue core. This is removable. So it's got basically the same adhesive as the Post-it notes, but on the sticky tape. And I really, really like that as well. Washi tape, yes. Painter's tape, yes. You may have to lint it up to de-stick it. We've talked about that before. Okay, so this is the trunk, and I found this little notch. I don't think they made it for this, but maybe. You never know what they're planning. But it fits really, really well. And I am going to use a few more Post-its to hold that in place. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, this is just a random Stampin' Up marker, and on my glass mat, or if you're using grid paper, I'm just going to mark this notch that's up here. This has a number 1 right there. I'm sure you can't see it. And then it's got this notch. And that'll just help me align stuff when I do the next ones. And that will wipe right off my glass mat with no problem. So I went to the colors that are in this paper and decided I'm going to do the trunk in Cajun Craze, which is the same color as this dark brownish orangey color, rust color. And get some ink on my brush and then start swirling it on. And I'm going to want this to be pretty intense, but I can build up. So I don't have to put big, heavy blorts of ink on there all at once. Although this time maybe I have. That may have done it. And what I can do here is I can just lift up and I can see what's there. Yep, that's looking pretty good. So I am going to close that up and set it aside. And I'm gonna, those can be reused, the next layer. And I can either go ahead and wipe this off right away, or I can save it and do it at the end. And I'm gonna save it and do it at the end because time is short, right? So here's number 2. This is most of the leaves, and it's kind of hard to tell where that should, go. So we're going to use our little mark up there. Oh, I see. Those are going to go right over the branches that I've just done. So we're going to put that on there and that down. That didn't really hold much because it's right on, all the way on there. There we go. And now I'm going to come in with some wild wheat. And that is used like right around in there. And I'm going to do some more color building, I think, on this one. So let's see how we go here. This is a funny color because it's yellow, but it's kind of green. A little bit of brown to it maybe, but mostly a greeny yellow. And it's going to be kind of translucent. You're going to be able to see some of the background through it, but that's okay too because you can kind of see through trees a lot of times. And I'm putting a little bit more in towards the center because leaves are a little more dense towards the center. And I do have a plan here. I am going to take a quick peek at that. Ooh, look at that. I'm liking that. Okay, so we're going to put it right back down where it was. I'm going to bring in a little mossy meadow here. Not a lot. Just a little bit. And I'm going to do that over there. I'm going to try to concentrate that right around the edges. Hi, Mom. Glad you could join me today. take a look at that now. Yeah, it's really subtle. It's so subtle that I'm not even sure you can tell from here, but that's okay, because it's a natural thing. So we're going to get rid of that mask, and now we're going to bring in the third one. And this one, again, we're going to start by lining up there and see how it seems to work. I find this is a good kind of guide to start with, but it's not always as accurate as as you go, you kind of realize, maybe I want to line stuff up my way a little more. That looks really off, doesn't it? And because I haven't played with this before, I don't know how much they're supposed to align versus be offsetty. So I'm going to go where it shows, and we'll see how that works. And I'm doing Mossy Meadow again. And this time I think it's going to be more intense. Let's see how that's looking. Oh, yeah, okay. Now, before I move this, I'm going to think about whether I want to go back in there at all with any of them. And I'm thinking, let's see about coming back in with this one. I'm thinking a little more Mossy Meadow over the whole thing. Because I didn't clean this, I can pick up from there. I can also bring this in and pick up a little bit from there. So I don't have to ink up a whole lot to get another layer of color on there. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. So that is... And these I can save and use again. I'm going to keep that on there for a moment. Keep it in place. I'm going to move these out of the way. And I am going to bring in that. And I'm going to overstamp, and I'm going to do it in Mossy Meadow. And I did wipe down the stamps when I opened it up. And I'm just standing up here to try to get good view of where I'm lining things up. Oh, yeah. Even though it's off just a little bit up here at the top, that made it less cartoony. Yep. Yep. What do you think? Okay, get those out of the way. Let's not get that transferred onto anything else. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in some grid paper just so that you guys don't get blinded by the reflections. Do you want to get a closer look at that? Let me see what I can do here. Anyway, you'll see the pictures on the blog. I'm trying to decide if I want a bird or two. I think on that a little bit while I figure out also what to mount it on. We're going to do Mossy Meadow. Are we going to cut it down just a little bit to do another layer? Not that. Gosh, I feel like you guys can't see so well. Is the video being choppy for you guys? I just can't tell what's going on. What do you like? What do you like? I'm not hearing anything. It's choppy. I think I like it best on there. Being indecisive here, folks. Shall I cut it down just a little bit and see about another layer? Cajun Craze on Mossy Meadow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Welcome, welcome, Betty. And Christine. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down. I like to start with a large layer, and then I can always cut it down if I want to and figure out where I need to do that. Okay, so that's cut down. Oh, and then it would help to have this layer. So that's the Cajun Craze rusty color on there with that. There we go. Still thinking about some birdies. One flying off like that, and another one flying in maybe. What do we think? You think on that, I'm going to cut an inside layer here. The birds are too big. Yeah, I would believe that. I would completely believe that. So this is the scrap when I sliced off the side. That might be a little much. Oh, some say yes birds, some say no birds. I'm going to do that on the inside, I think. Oh my goodness. My brain is in 8 different directions, trying to finish off this card, thinking about what I still have to do to be ready for a stamp camp on Saturday. I've got some cooking to do to feed everybody lunches and snacks. Do a little bit of baking. So that's going to go in there. That I know. used to have some really nice birds, but I think that set is retired. I think it was one of the seaside or lighthouse sets. They're really just a little grouping of them, very small. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I can decide to come back in and add a sentiment, or I can just leave it like that as a plain card. Good for lots of things. Do I have many coming? Yes. Well, for me, I do. I've got 5, which I think is equal or maybe one more than I've had before. So I'm happy about that. That's 6 is probably the absolute max I can fit into my house, since everybody gets a big table to themselves. So we'll see how this all goes. But that is my card for today. If you have any questions or requests, feel free to reach out to me. That's how you can find me. Happy if there's something that you'd like to see me do, a technique or a specific set, reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.